Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So overall, the entire crypto market has been pumping a little bit on the 24-hour span. We are still seeing the typical names up a little bit on the 7-day span. We do see 45+% gains. It's pretty insane. Zilliqa is one that has been starting to, pump out a little bit. If you guys do remember, I just talked to you guys about Zilliqa on my NFT channel. If you guys are not subscribed to that one yet, you should definitely be a part of it because I have been mentioning gem after gem on that channel. Also going in depth on Hedera-based use cases and things like that around the Web3 and NFT scene. So if you are not subscribed to that channel, I definitely advise you to, especially if you do love the content on this channel. But in regards to Hbar, yeah, we are up about 3%, up almost 9% on the 7-day span. I would actually like for Hbar to have stronger, moves because, I mean, for the most part, it hasn't been doing that great. I mean, we came down to roughly 6 cents. We're sitting at about 7.5 cents. So, it's nothing too incredible. I would say the price action has not really been that strong on Hbar compared to most assets right now in this market. Does it worry me? No. Does it frustrate me? No, because I still continue to see, Hedera continuing to build out, which is exactly what we want to see from a lot of these assets. So let's actually dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first off, I want to start with this image that came up on my Twitter feed, and it says, "The internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it." And this is actually from December 5th, 2000. Now, the internet, for the most part, during the early 2000s was starting to slow down, and then we seen the inception of essentially, social media. That's what really started to ramp up a ton of, again, internet adoption and retail individuals jumping into, of course, the internet. We also seen starting, inceptions of the cell phone, etc. And we're basically seeing things like that being built out right now within crypto. It started with, for the most part, cryptocurrencies becoming, a thing in terms of a means of payment. But now we are seeing some assets like Hedera focusing on the NFT sector, the metaverse sector. These are scenes that, in my opinion, will do the same thing, which, by the way, yes, we are seeing decentralized, social media sites coming into the space as well. But, retail-centric use cases like the metaverse, NFTs, and even, like I said, decentralized social media is going to be a streamlined bridge to retail adoption the similar way again, you've seen MySpace and other social media sites coming out during the early 2000s that truly did ramp up, retail adoption of, the internet. Now, I also want to go back in time because I think that this is actually pretty interesting as well. So we go back to roughly September of 2017. So almost 5 whole years ago. And this is JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud that will eventually blow up. And we do see down here, it's worse than tulip bulbs. It won't end well. Someone is going to get killed. Bitcoin fell to trade around its session lows after Dimon's comments. Dimon's criticism comes at a time when some well-known figures on Wall Street are starting to embrace the cryptocurrency. And this goes back again to September of 2017. Remember, in terms of 2017, 2018's topping point, it did not happen until around December of that time, which I could actually show you guys that real quick on this chart. And let's go back real quick. So I just want to go back to September. So here you guys have September. We bottomed out roughly around $3,000 before running to $20,000 on Bitcoin. And remember, like I said, a lot of these major, corporations, these major financial institutions, these are the players that will continuously manipulate the market by spreading, FUD like this. Remember, this is on the 12th, right? The 12th was right around this time frame here where we did see, of course, that sell-off happen on Bitcoin due to these, comments. They probably, scraped up a ton of Bitcoin around this time and then, of course, sold around the topping point. But again, there was multiple comments made from JP Morgan. We actually did see yet another one saying JP Morgan Chase chief says he would fire traders dealing in Bitcoin for stupidity. The funny thing about this is that recently in July of 2021, so go back a whole year now, JP Morgan to give all wealth clients access to crypto funds, Business Insider. We also just seen JP Morgan jump into the metaverse scene, and they are talking about NFTs, they're talking about tokenization, they're talking about digital, assets and how huge they're going to be. And of course, we did see, JP Morgan, led by Bitcoin skeptic Jamie Dimon, quietly, unveils access to a half a dozen crypto funds. I tell you guys this all the time. The narrative will continue to change. There is going to be a large amount of players similar to JP Morgan that jump on the train, because guess what? Crypto at this current moment in time is far too big to ignore. Even still at these, market cap areas that we are at, roughly $940 billion in market cap, we are still far too big to ignore. This is also why I say, as everybody's screaming, crypto's dead, it's going to zero, blah, blah, blah. Crypto is just getting started. And I truly do think that when we really kind of look at crypto compared to other investment markets and asset classes, this is probably going to be one of the biggest opportunities in our lifetime. Remember, I've always said by 2030, this entire market's going to be extremely different. Right now, we are in a speculative market. We hit $3 trillion off of speculation alone. Just imagine when true utility is actually here. It is going to change the entire landscape of crypto. And also, just imagine the amount of X's in ROI that you are going to be able to, achieve just off of regulations being ushered in and utility gems truly shining as utility becomes this overall market, price driver. And also, we do see, in terms of, again, utility and things that matter, we do see here from Crypto Weatherman, keep your eyes on who continues to build while the market is down. If Hedera filled up a few more of these council seats, it would provide a lot of conviction for investors next bull cycle. Now, in my regards to this, right, I bring this back up in regards to the GC members. When we really kind of look at this, yes, Hedera has been continuously building. They've been continuously growing and expanding. I could not ask for more from Hedera. I know a lot of people will continue to, look down on Hbar simply because of price action, but I think that is the worst thing to really kind of do at this current moment in time, as the entire market sentiment is completely garbage. When we really look at this, yes, there's a ton of seats to fill within the Hedera GC member list, and I think that this is awesome. I think that this is great. Similar to the amount of listings that we could still see for Hbar in terms of the tier 1 list. I think that right now we should be focusing on projects that are continuously building. I continue to bring this up time and time again because it truly does matter. These projects that are continuously expanding, continuously putting money aside for marketing, for funds, for building out dApps within their ecosystem. These are the projects during this moment in time that will continue to shine and shine even brighter during bull cycles. I'm very excited for the future of Hedera. I'm very excited for the future of Hbar as well. And also, talking about things around, for example, the metaverse. We do see here, as KPMG enters the metaverse, the Big Four firm calls multi-trillion-dollar estimates conservative. When we really kind of look at Web3 and we look at the metaverse, this market is going to be absolutely massive. Again, remember, the internet for itself took some time for it to really truly be, adopted fully. But once it did get adopted fully, the amount of price targets on some of the clear winners within the internet market did great. Again, remember the dot-com bubble, right? Talking about that, right? We are basically nearing the moment in time where the dot-com bubble is essentially going to repeat for the crypto market. Now, the thing that is very interesting to me around this, right, is the fact that when we really kind of look at the dot-com bubble, there was clear winners even before that crash happened. Yes, a lot of these garbage companies were coming out with billion-dollar-plus valuations, but for the most part, when you really kind of compare it to this market right now, there is clear winners. You just have to do your research. Knowing what winners, the clear winners that are in this market, knowing them, researching them, understanding what they are building, that's going to set you up for life-changing wealth going forward. Remember, individuals were really kind of just saying Amazon is nothing to invest in. Amazon is nothing. Ignore Amazon. It's going to zero. Blah blah blah. Amazon came out of the dot-com bubble as a massive winner. People were doubting them, and they just continuously built, continues to focus on the mission, and look at where they are now. So when we really kind of look at that, a lot of these projects within this market definitely will be the ones to really kind of focus on. And there will be, clear Amazons, there will be clear Googles, etc. And I do think that it's going to be the ones that are focusing on clear things around like CBDCs, payments, Web3, the metaverse. Initially, we will most likely see a large amount of money flow into this market through the metaverse and Web3. But I do think that at the end of the day, having regulations in this space and really kind of focusing on the big money use cases, which is like around finance, it's going to be pretty interesting. And of course, we do see the analogy, for me, is the dot-com boom when $5 trillion was wiped off values. A lot of the companies went, but the technology didn't go away. It came back 10 years later, and those that survived, the Amazons and the eBays, turned out to be the dominant players. Whatever happens over the next few months to crypto assets, I expect crypto technology and finance to continue. It has the possibility of huge efficiencies and changes in market structure, 100%. The efficiencies around crypto is something to continue to look at. And of course, we do see over here, they did start this collaboration hub. KPMG US and Canada are opening a metaverse collaboration hub to connect employees, clients, and others with Web3 and so-called decentralized version of the internet built on blockchain. The way we look at it, it's not just augmented reality and virtual reality. It's really the next iteration of the internet. It really encompasses everything the internet would encompass, but it's more interactive. 100%. This is why Web3 will be bigger than, of course, the internet. Like when we really kind of look at like Web 2 compared to Web 3, there's no comparisons. Like Web 3 is going to be a massive opportunity. In fact, we do see here in an April report, Citi estimated that the metaverse represents a business opportunity worth $8 trillion and $13 trillion by 2030. That is huge. When we really kind of just look at some of these base market values, like 8 trillion or 13 trillion, like these are just, in my opinion, conservative on the road, to 2030, for an example. We kind of look back on things and like we look at, Web 2.0. Like for an example, we do see until, Friendster, MySpace, and then Facebook in 2004, the internet was a largely dark and anonymous place. Social media sites open the doors for Web 2.0 to truly be adopted in. And that's why, like, when we look at Web 3, it is going to be a huge opportunity, not only for individuals to make money, but also for consumers of the internet. We do see here, here you have Web 1.0, $1.1 trillion. Web 2.0, $5.9 trillion. When we look at Web 3.0, the growth here, we could easily hit like $50 to $100 trillion in valuations. Yeah, sure, I think that the metaverse will be, huge. I think that, Web 3.0 is going to be massive. But also just think about the disruptions to like finance, the finance opportunities, the payment opportunities, like the doors, that will unlock and open to the possibilities where crypto could essentially be utilized in. It's going to be mind-blowing. And again, I share with you guys one last thing, and that is what essentially is going to kill off massive numbers of crypto projects. Remember, right, when we really kind of look at things and you look at like where we are headed in this market, we will see like over 90% of projects within the crypto market disappear, similar to the dot-com bubble. What I believe will change this entire market and essentially cause a dot-com bubble like burst is regulations. I think that regulations coming to crypto, of course non-stifling regulations, is going to drastically change the entire landscape. We're going to be seeing clear meme coins and scam coins basically disappear and be wiped out. And there's only going to be a clear number of winners, similar to the dot-com bubble, that will be here. To me personally, Hedera will be that one. Hbar will be, in this market. XRP will be here. XLM, a lot of the ISO 222 tokens, like there's going to be a large opportunity here. And we do see, days when just one announcement, partnership, or exchange listing doubled or tripled a coin price have gone. We are entering the most important phase in crypto, utility. Utility is actually all that matters, and this is where Hedera has no competition. And I don't believe that we should be looking at it as like a competition, but when we really kind of look at things happening around this space, like, there's so many opportunities for Hedera to really kind of be applied to within, multiple industries in terms of like everyday life. And it's truly like it's realistic, right? Like even when you go back to like the dot-com bubble, like there was a ton of projects. Like I said, like there was a ton of companies that were coming out with billion-dollar plus valuations that were, completely useless. They were, just terrible companies. That's basically what we have right now. We have over almost 20,000 crypto projects in the space. And, the main ones, like you see the percentage of dominance that a lot of these projects have. Like right after you go from like the number 9 crypto, these are projects that don't even hold 1% of market valuation within this market. I would say like maybe after like the top 50, we start getting into like, pretty scary waters where we are really kind of looking at projects and like we question them. Like, do they even matter? But again, like I said, crypto regulations will definitely change everything. We're definitely looking at like very conservative price targets for things like, I would say $8 trillion to $13 trillion for the metaverse by 2030. I don't know if that is too, conservative. I don't know. It's rough to put a price estimate on the metaverse itself. But I will say this, crypto for the most part, to me, by 2030 will look like a $50 to $100 trillion market class. And it's going to be something remarkable. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.